Imagine you are a data analyst and you work in a retail company where on a daily basis you track sales, profit and loss, discount, orders date, order status, these kinds of things you track on daily basis. So one day your manager comes to you and asks to highlight all those orders worth more than 10,000. So we can identify the big client, and she also asks you to highlight overdue deliveries so we can take immediate action on them and we can deliver them ASAP. And she also asks you to show the repeated customer so we can attract them by giving some loyalty discount. And at last, she asks you to highlight the urgent deliveries again so that immediate action can be taken for those deliveries. So tell me one thing, are you going to do all this manually? You know what? You don't have to, because we have something called conditional formatting in our Google Sheet inbuilt. So all you have to do is write few logics, do few clicks, and all this data and marking and highlighting, whatever you want to highlight will be automatically done. How to do that? Let's get started. So as you can see on my screen, you have a small data set and you have to imagine that this is the kind of data set that you deal with in your retail company, which includes the columns like sales, discount, status, order date, delivery date, and things like that. We want to highlight few things which require immediate attention, right? So for that, we are going to use conditional formatting. So first things first, where are we going to find this conditional formatting? So you have to go to this format option and then you will go to conditional formatting. When you click, you'll see a right panel which opens, right? Now, let's understand. First, you have single color and then you have color scale. A single color is nothing. Whenever you want to highlight something, you can choose any single color to highlight that. Now, color scale, you will be getting these kinds of shades kinds of thing, and you can choose, the things will be highlighted in a shade, and the same thing will be done in a single color. That's not a big deal. You can explore on your own, right? Then comes apply to range. Now, this section allows you to select the cells where you want this formatting to happen. I will show you when I do this. Okay, then comes the real part. You have format rules, format cells if. So these are the conditions which actually going to help you. Now you see, we have if the cell which you have selected here, if that is empty, then what condition how do you want to highlight it? If it's not empty, then how do you want to highlight it? Text contains, suppose if there's a cell, and then we want to highlight all the urgent orders. Remember, your manager has asked you. So now the text should contain urgent, then we are going to highlight that in red color. In that case, you are going to use things like that. Text does not contain, vice versa. Then text starts with something, ends with something, date, then comes the date. I just want to highlight all the orders that we have gotten on maybe 25th of December, considering that's a Christmas, so we are going to prioritize those orders, right? So in that case, if we have a certain date in our mind, we can highlight that with this function. Then we have date is before, date is after, things like that. Then we have greater than and less than. We can apply conditions like that. Then we have is equal to and is between. So what I have done, I have classified these conditions in 4 parts. I will show you how I have classified them. So I have classified them in 4 parts, as I told. So the first part contains basic value rules. There in basic value rules, I have put this greater than or less than, equal to or not equal to, empty or not empty. We just saw here, right? We have something called greater than or less than, is equal to, not equal to, and then we have empty, not empty. These are basic rules, okay? Then comes your text rules, where we are going to learn. If you remember, we just saw that text contains, text does not contain, text starts with, text ends with, things like that. Conditions which have text into it, right? So that will be our second part, which we can also call text rules. Then we have date rules. Now, in this date rule, what is it? We had a lot of things regarding date, like date is before, date is after. So that we have categorized in part 3. Then comes the part 4, where we are going to customize it. Okay, there will be conditions where you will need something beyond these given condition. So then you have to go to custom formula. You see there's a thing called custom formula. You will click on that and then you will get a cell to write the formula that you want. So that's why we call it a custom formula. You can customize as per your requirement. Okay. So first we are going to learn the basic cell value rules. Okay. So this is the second tab where we're going to learn, and these are the questions. So what is the first question? The first question says that highlight sales which is greater than 10,000. Fine. Now we're going to search for sales column, which is D column, right? We have sales in D column, and our manager wants us to highlight these sales worth more than 10,000. Fine. So what we're going to do? We're just going to format. We're going to click on conditional formatting. This panel opens. Now apply to range. What is this? This is asking us to highlight the column where, or the cell, or the whatever range where you want the conditional formatting to happen. You can write here as well, but I prefer to select like this. So I'll just remove this. I want this, right? I want this condition to be applied in the whole D column. Now, since I want it to be taken from, I do not want the headers to be considered, so I just wrote D2 and D. D2 to D means it's going to consider everything after second cell of D till the whole column, right? And then okay, fine. So you see, as I have selected, everything has automatically highlighted. Now why everything has automatically highlighted in green? Because by default this is considering green color, right? That's why it has been highlighted. Now comes what was our condition. We wanted to highlight the cells which is greater than 10,000. We are going to select these conditions. Now we want this amount to be greater than 10,000, right? So we'll click on greater than, and then we are going to put 10,000. Okay. Now we have already, now the moment I entered 10,000 here, you see automatically all the cells which were greater than 10,000 got highlighted here. 12,000, 15,000, 20,000, things like that. Now I'm going to click on done. That's it. And your sales, which is greater than 10,000, got highlighted already. So it was so easy and it was so convenient. Now you don't, while presenting it to your manager, you don't have to go and manually check with your naked eyes that, okay, this is 12,000, this is 20,000. No, the thing that you wanted to get highlighted, that's already highlighted here. So your manager will just have a glance and she can see that, yeah, these are the sales, which is greater than 10,000. So now we can target these customers because these customers are giving us big business, right? It was that easy. Now again, we'll understand the second condition, which was highlight discount. Okay, so we highlight discount, which is blank. Okay, discount is equal to blank, that we want to highlight. Not we, your manager wants to highlight. So again, formatting, conditional formatting. Again, which is the discount column? E is the discount column. So I will click on this square kind of button. I will delete this and I want to select the discount column, which is E. Again, as I told you, I don't want to consider the header, so I'm just putting E2 to E, and then okay, fine. Then I want discount is equal to blank, right? That's what we want. Discount is equal to blank, correct? So is empty. We just want discount is empty. Those cells should be highlighted. Done. See, wherever the discount was empty, this got highlighted. Now you'll see one thing, that here, since we selected the whole E column and the data was till 21st row, the below cells also got highlighted because apparently those cells are also empty. So in this case, what we can do is, instead of taking it to E2 till E1000, we can just see that our data ends till 21st row. So we'll limit it till 21, and then okay, fine. Now these are gone. Now the formula is working only till the point where we have our data present, right? So our data is till 21st row, and in this we saw that there are 2 customers who did not get any kind of discount. Or maybe she wants to decide something on that. Now comes the third, which is highlight profit and loss, which is in negative, means less than 0. Okay, fine. It's easy for us, right? We can highlight anything. Now, which is profit and loss column? Profit and loss column is J. So again, we're going to select this data range. and it's easier, just select G column, J2 to J, correct? J2 to J, and then OK. And what do we want to do? We want to highlight those where profit and loss is in negative. Okay, I mean profit is in negative, basically we are in loss. That's kind of data we want to highlight. Okay, so we want less than 0. Negative means less than 0. So we can just click here less than and 0, and that's it, right? See, it's done. So now we highlighted all the profit, all the cases where we were in loss. So this was how basic cell values work. Now you can go yourself and you can, explore more. You have a lot of conditions there. You can think that what all things I should be highlighting while presenting in my business meeting, what will be valuable for my stakeholders to see, and what will help them decide something. So you can explore on your own and you can do multiple trial and error. That way you'll have more understanding of the conditional formatting, right? Now comes the second, which is text rules. Okay, let's jump to text rules. Now we'll see what is the manager's demand in text rules. Let's read the manager's demand. First thing she wants, highlight where status is equal to pending. Okay, so this is the status column and she wants those orders to be highlighted where we have status is equal to pending. Fair enough. Then she wants highlight where notes contains urgent. Okay, we have notes here and then I can see that we have some urgent. She wants them to highlight it. You remember she told you that highlight those urgent orders so she can prioritize them, right? And fair enough, she should do that. Then highlight emails that end with @gmail.com. Fine, we have email column here, we'll do that. And then highlight customers that start with A. Fine, okay. So let's start with the first question right now. We'll go format, conditional formatting. Let's see the question. What does it say? Where status is equal to pending. Correct? Come here. First of all, we'll select the range where we want to do the conditional formatting. The status, right? We want to do the status. So we are going to select the status. I do not want the header to be selected. So I just did F2 to F. Okay. And then status is equal to pending, right? So this text contains, right? If the text contains pending, those cells should be highlighted. Fine. We are going to write pending. Okay. Then this time I do not want to use green color. I want to go with maybe red, something like that. Okay, you can change the color from here. You can bold if you want. You can do the italic, you can underline it, you can do this, and you can change the text color. You can fill the color. So it depends upon you what kind of formatting you want. I'm not going into detail because I believe you can explore this by yourself. Okay, so here what we did, text contains pending, those should be highlighted in red, and done. See, these are already highlighted in red. Simple, right? Okay, let's see the manager's second demand, which is where notes contains urgent. Fine, we'll go add another rule. Okay, then we'll go here, and where is the notes? We want to highlight the column where we have notes. Then we'll go to I column, and then we'll I2 because I don't want to select the headers. Then we have notes contains urgent, right? So notes contains urgent. Fine. I want this to be highlighted in maybe red color. Okay, done. We have all those orders which are urgent. Now it's highlighted in red color. So now the manager can just have a look and see that, okay, we have 3 urgent orders and we need to give this an immediate attention, right? Okay, then the third question comes, highlight emails that end with gmail.com. Fine, add another rule. And then, so, in one page, when you keep adding rules, so you can just go and click on add another rule and then you can do that. So it's not a big deal. Okay, again, let's go and select the email column, removing the headers. And then we want the email that ends with @gmail.com. Okay, fine. Now we have text contains, text does not contain, text starts with, and then we have text ends with. So right now, according to our condition, it should be the mail ID which ends with gmail.com that we want to be highlighted, right? So we are going to select this, and then it should be @gmail.com. Let's select it with some, again, same color. Okay, fine. Okay, so we have these many orders of people who have gmail.com mail ID. Okay, the domain is gmail.com. Okay, fine. That was the third condition. I'm not sure how this data is going to be helpful, but it's okay. That was just for our practice. Okay, now comes the customers that starts with A. Okay, fine. Another rule. We're going to add another rule on the same page. Okay, name. Where was the name column? So we have customer name in B column. I'm going to select the column B, removing the headers. Okay, and then we have highlight customers that starts with A. Okay, fine. Text starts with, right? So now you have to use your intelligence to understand that to fulfill which kind of condition I have to use which kind of function. So that you have to understand, you have to build that logic, which is not rocket science, you can do it very easily. Text starts with A. That's what we wanted, right? And we want to highlight it with red. Fine, we have 3 customers whose names start with A. So yeah, so your manager's demand in the text rule is also ready. Fine. Now let's move forward to date rule. Now let's see what your manager has to say. Oh, your manager has 3 conditions and 3 demands in date rule. Fine. The first says that highest orders before today. Highlight orders before today. Okay, so she wants you to highlight all the orders which have come before today. Okay, so means she doesn't want to consider the orders that we have received today, but everything from day before today. I mean yesterday, right? Okay, fine. Then we have highlight deliveries after 1st Feb 25. Fine. She must be having some kind of conditions there. Highlight orders where order date is. The third condition is highlight orders where order date is today. Fine. So we have 3 demands from your manager. Okay. Let's start. We'll go to format, then conditional formatting. Again and again, I'm going from the beginning, so it will remind you. You won't forget that how do we actually navigate to conditional formatting. That's why I'm going to format and then conditional formatting. Okay. So now, so the first question is highlight orders before today. Okay. So we are going to orders. So where we have order date, we have G column, right? So we want to highlight those orders we have come before today, means starting from yesterday in the backward. Yeah, so we are going to highlight this G column again, removing order date, and then we do not want date. Okay, we'll directly go to date, right? Now date is before today. Now when you select this date is before, okay, then you will automatically get one more drop down underneath that. There you can click on the drop down and you can explore. So you have today, tomorrow, yesterday, in the past week, in the past month, in the past year, an exact date. If you do not want, suppose I had a different condition and I wanted to mention a particular date, then I would go in this column. I would select this option, right? But in my condition, I just want the orders which we have received before today. So for me, it's easier as of now. So date is before today, right? So that's how it looks. Now let's choose a different color. I want to choose blue. Okay. Oh, okay. So actually, whatever orders we have received is before today. So that's why all the orders got highlighted. That can be a reason. I mean, it's okay, no problem. If you want me to show with exact date, I can do that as well. So let's write some date which is present here. So I want to write dates. So I want to see all the orders before 15th Jan 2025. Okay, let's write that. 15th Jan 25. Okay, I just want those orders. Fine. right? We got all the orders which we received before 15 Jan 2025. Okay, so if you just wanted to mention today, you could have selected today, but when I selected today, I started getting all the orders, so I wanted to show you a different kind of condition so you do not get confused, and that's why I chose exact date. And you can see when I click on exact date, I again get a small cell underneath to write the date which I want to mention, and there I mentioned my date, and then I got this formatting style options, then I formatted it and I got the dates highlighted, which is before 15 Jan 2025. Okay, so this is done. Then comes highlight deliveries after 1st Feb 25. Okay, fine, add another rule. So deliveries, so delivery date. So this time we are going to jump on delivery date, which is H column. Okay, then H to H. Okay, deliveries after 1st Feb 25. Okay, date is after. Now we want to, now in this condition, we cannot have today, tomorrow, yesterday. We have to have this exact date. Now what is that exact date? 1st Feb 25. Okay, so we are going to write 1 Feb 25. Okay, I want to choose this color because I'm liking it. Okay, so yeah, we have all those deliveries highlighted which was done after 1st Feb 2025, 5th Feb, 10th Feb, 2nd Feb. So you know, those things got highlighted. Now comes the third condition, which is highlight orders where order date is today. Okay, so okay, she just wants those orders where the order date is today. I'm sure we do not have any such order because it's 25th September today, and we do not. I think I see the data is only till December, January and February. Okay, so assume that today is 5th Feb, just for your assumption. Okay, today is 5th Feb. We are going to try time travel a little backward just for our question. Okay, I'm going to select the order date again, so maybe what we highlighted that time will go. That's okay, we're just learning, right? But when your manager asks you, it's your responsibility to give her the deliverables. Okay, so we want, so what is today's date as per our assumption? It's 5th Feb. Okay, so now we want the date is, now we don't want today because today is too late for these dates, so I want to consider that the date is 5th, how do I write that, 5th Feb 25. Okay, and if that is the case, then I'm going to highlight this. Okay, let me highlight it with a different color. So we have, yes, so we have this as, so if you want to remove few conditions that you applied by mistake, you can just click on these and you will be able to see. So when I clicked on G column, I could see that there are two conditions applied. If you remember, the first condition was highlight orders before today. In that case, we did date is before, we did a trial that date is before 15 Jan. Okay, so that was highlighted in blue color, so that's why when I click on blue, I can see those conditions. Now in this column, there was one more condition applied, which was highlighted in red, which says that date is exactly 5th Feb 25. So if you do not want these both conditions to retain, then you can just click on delete and one of these rules will be deleted. Similarly, if you click on H column, then you can see in this column we just had one rule and that is visible here. So if you want to delete it, you can just go and delete here. I do not want to delete it, so I'm not going to delete. Now comes the fourth and little tricky, little advanced, but yet very useful, which is custom formula rule. So let's see your manager's demand again. She asks that highlight if sales greater than 10,000 and discount is greater than 0.1. Okay, now then the second question is highlight duplicate customer names. Fine. So the only difference is before, when we were doing this conditional formatting, we just had one condition, right? So now in this you have two conditions. We want to consider sales as well as discount. We want both of them to be considered in our conditions. So that's why these kinds of questions we have to deal in custom formula rule. So we are going to customize the formula. Okay, again, let's go to format, conditional formatting. Okay, if sales is greater than 10,000. Okay, So first of all, which is sales column? Sales column is D, right? So we are going to we're going to select the D column, not selecting the headers. We're not selecting the headers. And then comes she wants sales greater than 10,000. Okay, so we are going to select this, and we are not going to choose any one of them because they are not going to suffice what we want. We have to go to custom formula. So what are we doing? So whenever we do customize formula, these formulas start with and, okay, because we have two, we are going to concatenate two conditions. So one condition was sales, which is greater than 10,000, and another we had discount, which is 0.1. You will see only those cells getting highlighted where these both conditions are getting applied. These both conditions are getting satisfied because I have used and here. So whenever you are writing a formula with the help of two conditions and you have written and, then you will get result when both conditions are getting satisfied. And if you use or, you will get, if either of the conditions get satisfied, you'll get the answer. That is very common basic rule. So here I have used and because I want to see only those, your manager wants to see only those sales which is worth more than 10,000 and the discount is more than 0.1. That's why I used and now let me click. First of all, let me select something else, then done. Okay, little brighter color. So you see here, in this case, we have cell 12,000 and the discount is also greater than 0.1. If you see 20,000, the discount is also greater than 0.1. We can see one more thing. See here, the discount is more than 0.1, but the sales is not highlighted. Why? Because the sales is not greater than 10,000. So one of these conditions were not satisfied. That's why this was not getting highlighted. And you will ask why only D column is getting highlighted and not E, because I have just given that range. Okay, if you want, you can give E as well, and then I think both will get highlighted. Yep, you see, now both columns are getting highlighted as per the condition. Okay, that was simple. Then comes highlight duplicate customer names. Okay, we are going to add another rule. Customer name is nothing but B, so we are going to select that column, right? Again, removing the header. Okay, now we want highlight duplicate customer names. Okay, so we'll go to custom formula name. Here we are going to use something called COUNTIF. Yeah, so this is the formula that we are going to write. Now I'll explain you how does it work. COUNTIF is nothing. The first argument which we give is that which is the range of data that we are trying to apply that condition on. And the second one comes the each of the cell. Okay, the range that we want to highlight is nothing but customer name, which is B. Okay, so that's why B, we are locking this dollar sign is nothing but we are locking the B till B. So we are selecting this whole range, and then from B to, if we count John Smith to be present more than once, then we are going to highlight it. That's what it means. So B2, so it's going to count B2. Okay, and if it finds that the text or the value present in B2 is more than once, then that is going to be highlighted. Okay, so that's how this works. So now we are going to just select a different color, maybe this. Okay, oh sorry, I selected a text color. Text I want black. I just want this to be filled with a different color, which I want, maybe this. Okay, fine. So this is the formula. I'll just click on done. Now you see John Smith is highlighted, which means that we have another John Smith in the data, and that is true. We have one more John Smith in 12th row, and then we have one in, we have in 12th row, and then we have in second row. We have two John Smiths. So COUNTIF, what it does, first of all, it checks the range where we want to put the formula. Then after that, comma, B2. Then it starts checking each cell. So of course it will start with B2, right? So it checked John Smith, and if it's greater than 1, then it's going to highlight in red, right? So John Smith, do we have John Smith more than once? It checked. It came to each cell and checked in the B range, B2B range, right? So it checked that, yeah, we have one more John Smith, and that's why it highlighted. Then it came to Steve Allen. We have another Steve Allen. Yes, we have 21st row is the another Steve Allen, and that's why Steve Allen was, sorry, we have Steve Allen, and then here also we have another Steve Allen. So that's why this Steve Allen was highlighted. So yeah, this was all about conditional formatting. So next time when your manager comes with these kinds of demands, you do not have to sit and do it manually. You can just use conditional formatting and do it in 15 minutes. Because I was explaining you, that's why I took a lot of time. But when you sit silently and do it, it's just the matter of 10 minutes. So it's very easy, very simple, and very interesting actually, and it makes your data very presentable. You don't have to struggle while presenting that I want to show sales greater than 10,000, then you are just going and searching. You don't have to do that. You will just have your numbers highlighted beforehand. So when you go and present, it's just very easy for you, and for your audience as well to grasp that what's exactly being presented. So this way you can make your presentation better, and yes, you can always stand out with the help of conditional formatting. So I hope you learned something new, and if you did, then wait for next session, and we are absolutely going to meet with some new formula in Google Sheet. So for the time being, bye bye.